Here's a pretty straightforward song. I've got it in the key of G with a capo on the 4th fret because the original is in the guitar unfriendly key of B. So to play in the original key, capo on the 4th fret, and play as if we're in the key of G. Now the time signature is 12/8, which means we've got 4 beats in the bar, and each beat is split into 3 little subdivisions, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So if we were strumming this, for instance, on a G chord, we might play down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And the first down strum of each group of 3, I'm just giving a little extra emphasis and perhaps strumming the bass notes more than I would on the next one. Now the verse is simple enough. We've got 2 bars of C, down to G. Now we've got D7, again for 2 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, to G for 2 beats, to C for 2 beats, to G, and then we get the next verse. So singing that, I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill, on Blueberry Hill, where I found you, C, G, and then we're into the second verse. It has a slightly different ending, but we'll come to that in a moment. Now just a little tweak. If we've got C and G next to each other, and if you've seen my video on Elton John's Rocket Man, for instance, or Adele's Make You Feel My Love, where we've got alternating bars of C and G, a common thing to do would be to place the little finger on the 3rd fret of the top string for both chords. So for the C chord, I've got this high note that is also there for the G chord, and that just creates a little bit of continuity. I found my thrill. There's that high note there. On Blueberry Hill, and it's still there for the G. Okay, that's a little detail. But I've got a picking pattern that might work better than this strumming, certainly for the verse, because the original has this bass line. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. So let's look at that. If you're playing a C chord, you've already got a note on the 5th string, 3rd fret, 4th string, 2nd fret, and the open 3rd string. That creates an arpeggio, or the chord of C. So the bass is going to go 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, 4, 3. Now what you could try is picking maybe just with the 2nd and 3rd fingers on the top 2 strings. Depends how far you want to take this. That translates really nicely to the G chord as well. I'm just going to keep the picking fingers where they are and take the thumb down a string. So now I've got 6, 5, 4, 5, 4. Okay, and if we want to do the same thing for D7, we could just play the arpeggio there. I'm stuck with the open 4th string as the lowest D on the guitar. With the capo on the 4th fret, it's already kind of high. So maybe I'm going to look elsewhere for the F sharp. In fact, I'm going to wrap my thumb around the 2nd fret of the bottom string. And then the A I'm going to play on the open 5th. So that's going to be open 4th string, down to the 2nd fret of the 6th, open 5th. Now, I'm not going to lie, I find it a bit of a challenge to play the bass line and pick the top strings accurately while singing it, but I'll give it a go. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill, on Blueberry stood still on Blueberry Hill and lingered until my dream came true. And this time it's G to C minor, which is an A minor shaped barred on the 3rd fret, and then back to G. So the chorus kicks off with a little D7 at the end of that. My dream came true, C minor to G, D7. The wind in the... and we're into the chorus. So we have a bar and a half of G, half a bar of D7, and back to G. So, the wind in the willows play, love's sweet melody, 3, 4. And then there are a few more chords that make it a bit more complicated to keep our bass line going. So I'm just going to strum this part. We've had a bar and a half of G, half a bar of D7, a bar of G. Now we get half a bar of G7 and half a bar of F sharp 7. So the F sharp 7 I'm playing like this. It's an E7 shaped barred on the 2nd fret. And if we're playing G7 before it, maybe rather than play this G7, I should play it here as an E7 shaped barred on the 3rd fret. So I can simply slip down a fret to the F sharp 7. The wind and the willows play, love's sweet melody, but all of those, and then we get alternating 2 beats each of B minor, which is an A minor shape on the 2nd fret, and then our F sharp 7, which is our E7 shape on the 2nd fret. So we're just going to keep that bar there. But all of those vows you made, and again, are never to. Now we've got a bar of B7, which we could play here as an A7 shape, still barred on the 2nd fret, or we could come down here and play it here. I might just do it here. B7 for a bar, and then D7. And then there's a little pause before we go into the final verse. So the whole of the chorus, the wind and the willows play, love's sweet melody, but all of those vows you made are never to be. Though we're apart, you're part of me still.